Welcome. In this lesson, we're going to go over creating a database connection with PHP, how to then run queries through that connection, process the query results you get back with PHP, and then we're going to use those results to build our web pages. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing you need when connecting PHP to a database is a database to connect to. So I've got one here on the right. It's called person, and within it there's some tables. For now we're only going to care about name. Name has two columns of importance, first name and last name. And the last record is currently Oliver Tunnell. The second thing you need is a user that we're going to use to connect to the database. It has to have the proper permission so that we can access it from our PHP file. Different interfaces are going to get you to your users in different ways, but we can see mine here. We're going to be using this one here. I've called the user demo, and it's from localhost. You can see that its privileges are set so that on the database person, it has all the privileges it needs. Although primarily, we're only going to care about select, insert, update, and delete. So let's go back to our name table, and now let's do something with PHP. So PHP is going to connect with something called MySQL. So we're going to say $MySQL equals new MySQL. Then we're going to open our thing and say where we're coming from. In this case, localhost. And we have our username, so demo, our password, which is demo pass. It's great to have passwords on your users because you don't want someone to be able to use it to access something that you don't want them to. And then we select our database name, and ours is called person. That'll create our connection to the database. And then, in order for us to connect to the table and actually run our queries, we're going to use $MySQL arrow query, and then we open it up and we put our query in here. To start with, we're going to do an insert. Insert into name, set first name equal to Tommy, last name equal to Thompson. Now let's see what happens when we run this. We'll go over to our page and we'll run it. And now if we go back to our database and we refresh it, we can see that we now have Tommy Thompson in our database. We've successfully connected to a database and made a query that inserted into it. Now we'll do not just a command, but a select so that we actually get our results back into our PHP code. First we'll set a variable, we'll call it result, and we'll set that equal to the same thing we have up here. So I'll just copy and paste it. And we'll change our select into, or an insert into a select. We'll say select first name from name. We don't need a where because we're selecting them all. Next, you have to go through your results. The result you get back isn't actually usable in PHP because it's a different type of object. So we have to go through and convert it, and in our case we'll convert it into an array. So what we're going to do is, while row equals result arrow fetch array. Fetch array is something already in PHP to help us get our query results. So we can do in here, we can treat it just like an array once it's been assigned to row. So if I were to echo $row, And it is an array, so we'll have to do at position 0 since we've only got one column. Then let's watch what happens here. There we have all of our names. James, Al, Steve, Amy. We didn't do any formatting, and we'll fix that in a minute, but you can see us getting some results back. We'll pick up with improving this and moving on to some more complex stuff in our next video.